Good morning, students. How are you all? Are you all fine? Yes, you may be fine, absolutely fine after so many holidays. Yeah. And I hope you studied also during the holidays. Okay. So, in the last class, which was on 21st December, okay, before starting our holidays, we started a new chapter. I hope you all remember. Yes, we started a new chapter, that is Unit 6, Combustion and Flame. And in that chapter, we went through the introductory part, okay, that what is combustion, then what are the characteristics of combustion, okay, then many other things. Introduction part we went through, okay. And based on that, you also got some homework questions. Okay, so we'll discuss that, and after discussing those questions we will move forward. Okay, first question, define combustion. Okay, so you will define combustion as the process of burning of a substance in the presence of air or oxygen along with the evolution of heat and light is termed as combustion. Like this way you will write. Your second question was, what is a fire triangle? So in that you will write, I have shown you the figure, okay, the triangle figure. So you will write the three necessary conditions for combustion, including fuel, oxygen and heat, constitute fire triangle. Okay. Then third question you got, differentiate between complete and incomplete combustion. So students, not only one point, you can write many, but in short you can very generally differentiate between, like, when a fuel burns in sufficient amount of air, it is called complete combustion. Whereas when a fuel burns in insufficient supply of air, it is called incomplete combustion. Okay, I hope all of you have done correctly. Okay, students, we ended our last class with the figure. Okay, I told you about fire triangle. Then we constituted that there are three main conditions which are very necessary for combustion. Okay, in that we studied only just the introductory part, that oxygen, fuel, then heat. Okay, these three are the main reasons for combustion. These are the necessary conditions because of which combustion takes place. Okay, so today we will see all these supporters in detail. Okay, these conditions in detail. Students, if I say that just burn, just if I say burn, is it possible? Means I should say burn this particular thing or burn something, then I would sound complete, right? So without a fuel, okay, combustion is not possible. It is the most important condition which is necessary for combustion, because without a fuel, without a particular fuel, I am not talking about wood, I am not talking about paper, I am not talking about cloth. Okay, any fuel, it can be any fuel, it can be. Okay, either the fuel which we use in our homes for cooking, like LPG, it can be CNG, it can be any other gas, it can be kerosene, okay, it can be petrol, it can be diesel, anything it could be. Okay, I have written etc, so it could be anything, but we need a fuel for burning. Okay, if we burn something, we need, okay, we need a particular fuel which helps us to constitute into combustion. Okay, our fuel could be a wood, paper, cloth, kerosene, petrol, diesel, LPG, CNG, anything it could be. Okay, any fuel, but without a fuel, okay, without a fuel, combustion is not possible. Okay, among the fire triangle which we have seen before, among that fire triangle, a very important hand stands for fuel. You have seen that? Yes. Now the thing is, all the fuels does not burn at a same rate. Okay, it does not burn at a same rate. Some fuels require prolonged heating, or the strong heating. Some fuels require just a very slow heating. Suppose if I need to burn something, okay, if a fire takes place, okay, a strong fire takes place, and if we put kerosene, okay, you may have seen and you may have known that kerosene, diesel, then petrol, all these things are kept in a very safe manner. Why? Why it is kept in a safe manner? Because they have a very strong tendency to cause fire. Okay, fire, that is combustion. They have a very strong tendency to cause fire or combustion. That's why they are kept very safely. Okay, so these substances, okay, like paper, cloth, kerosene, petrol, all these things, in a very small amount of time, in a very slow heating manner, they cause fire or combustion. So they require slow heating. Okay. Then if I talk about wood, okay, if I talk about wood, you would have seen, especially in the season, okay, and we have so much of cold in this particular season, and comparatively this year the cold is more, as I suppose. So you would have seen your grandparents or your parents burning fire at home, okay, burning fire at home just to keep themselves warm. There you may have seen that wood takes so much time to catch fire. Why? We need to heat it for a longer time, strongly, then only it catches fire. Okay, that is a very common example. So that is the difference between strong heating and slow heating. Okay, that depends on the fuel. So if a question is asked like what is the principle behind strong heating and the slow heating? So the basic principle behind strong heating and slow heating could be the type of fuel used. The type of fuel used. Okay, how much we need to heat, how much we need to give heat depends on which type of fuel we are using. Okay. Now the second condition which is very necessary for combustion is oxygen. Okay. Oxygen is also known as the supporter of combustion. What do you mean by supporter, students? Supporter? See, without a supporter we cannot achieve something. Okay, we need a supporter. For example, if you want to do something in life, in your career, you need the support of your parents. Yes? If you need to do a particular program or a particular anything, okay, anything, you want to take part in the competition or anything in the school or outside school, you need a supporter. The supporter could be either your teacher or anything. Okay, in the same way, combustion is not possible without the supporter. Okay, no doubt we will provide enough of fuel, no problem, but if we don't give or we don't supply enough amount of oxygen, fuel will not work alone. Okay, so oxygen is known as the supporter of combustion. That means a sufficient amount of oxygen should be present for a combustion to take place. Okay, then for this I'll show you a particular activity. Okay, let's see what happens. See, students will do an activity which will show us that air is very important for combustion, air or oxygen. Okay, air only contains oxygen. For example, see, first we will burn 2 candles. Okay, we will burn 2 candles and fix them. Okay, either on a particular table or plate or anywhere. We will fix them on a particular base. Okay, and one of the candle will be burning simply in the supply of oxygen, means in the presence of air. Okay, but the second one, okay, the second one in the same condition, the difference is we will cover it with a glass jar. Okay, we will cover it with a glass jar, and then we will realize that after a few seconds or few minutes, what happens is the candle gets extinguished. Okay, the candle gets extinguished. Then what happens here? See, the candle which was covered with a glass jar extinguishes. Okay, after some time it gets extinguished, but the uncovered one keeps on burning. Okay, continues to burn. What happens here? See, this happens because the candle inside the jar, okay, gets very little supply of oxygen. Okay, the supply of oxygen is not given there properly in the sufficient amount, and that's why it gets burns. Okay, then for some time it will burn. It will not suddenly stop or suddenly extinguish. For some time it will burn, because for a time being the air which was there before covering with the glass jar, the air which was already present, will work for some time. Till when that air works, till that time it will keep burning, and as soon as the air gets finished off, okay, the candle will extinguish. So this proves that oxygen is a very supporter of combustion. Okay, see, the first candle is getting a particular amount of oxygen, so it keeps on burning. But the second one, when the supply of oxygen is cut, it stops burning. This activity shows you that air is very necessary for combustion. Okay, then from this activity is very clear. Okay, very clear. We are very clear that combustion takes place in the presence of air only, presence of air or oxygen. Okay, and one more example I could give you. In your lower classes, in the 5th standard or 4th standard, you have learnt about the first aid. Yeah, you have learnt about the first aid part, and there you have learnt that when a person catches fire, okay, when a person catches fire, we should roll him with a blanket. We should roll him with a blanket, or if blanket is not possible there, we should just let him roll on the ground. Why so? Because when a person is covered with a blanket, okay, the supply of oxygen in its body gets stopped, and that's why the burning fire will extinguish. Okay, in the same case, if we roll the person on the ground, again what will happen? When the person is rolling on the ground, the supply of oxygen will cut, and due to that, what happens is the fire will extinguish. Okay, so this tells us that oxygen is the supporter of combustion. Now we'll move towards the third condition, which is heat. Okay, in the triangle we saw that the third hand was the heat. Now what is heat? Simply heating something? No. Here heat relates to attainment of ignition temperature. Okay, attainment of ignition temperature. And you know that the meaning of ignition, the dictionary meaning of ignition is heat only. So we have to attain a heating temperature. Okay, heating temperature, and this heating or ignition temperature is also known as kindling temperature. This is also known as kindling temperature. Kindling temperature. Okay. So we have two names for ignition temperature. One is ignition temperature only, and other is the kindling temperature. Now what is this temperature? You may wonder, what is this new name has come? Yes. So this temperature is nothing but the lowest temperature at which a substance starts burning. It is the lowest temperature at which a substance starts burning. Okay. Students, have you seen, can a matchstick burn on its own? Have you seen? Is it a magic that it will burn on its own? No, not at all. What happens? When we rub it against the side of the matchbox, then only it starts burning. Yes? And in the same way, when we heat a particular piece of paper, yes, when particular paper is a fuel, and when we heat it, what happens? Is it burning on its own? No, we have to provide a particular amount of heat, then it catches fire and starts burning, right? Then in the last topic we also saw that all the fuels like wood burns on strong heating, paper, kerosene burn on very slow heating. So what these things tell us? These tell us that each fuel, each substance burns at different rates, at different temperatures. In this term we can say the substances burn at different temperatures. Okay. Then based on that only the definition has come that the lowest temperature at which a substance starts burning or catches fire is known as ignition temperature or kindling temperature. Clear? Then if we say that a substance does not catch fire until its temperature is raised to its ignition temperature. See, until and unless the ignition temperature is reached for a substance, the substance will not catch fire. Okay. You may have burned the crackers on Diwali, right? In Diwali, we burn crackers. Yes. So what happens? Does the crackers suddenly burn? If I talk about that Aradhana, or I talk about that Chakrivan, or I talk about the Churchuri, what happens? They burn slowly. Okay, we provide them, we heat them with the help of some candle or diya or something. Then only it catches fire along with its temperature itself, and then after a few seconds it catches fire. Yes, so that is the ignition temperature of that particular cracker. Okay. Even the different crackers have different temperatures to burn. Yes. So in the same manner, when they will reach at its ignition temperature, okay, at their ignition temperature, then only they will catch fire. Okay, now understood? Then that's why we see that a matchstick or a piece of wood does not catch fire on their own, right? Yes, they catch fire only when a particular heating temperature is provided to them. Okay. So all this is because of their ignition temperature. And students, one more example I could give you is during extreme heat of summer. Okay, in the May month, or in the June month, where there is extremely heating conditions. Okay, extremely heating weather. What happens is at some dry places. Okay, you may have heard about forest fires. Okay, forest fires generate by their own. Yes, because of so catchy heat, the forest fire takes place. Yes, the fire spreads very soon. You have heard, right? You may have studied in the geography or in your social subjects that the forest fire spreads very fast. Yes, very soon the whole forest comes under the fire. Then what happens? This forest fire is also very difficult. Okay, it is very difficult to control them. This is also see, the forest or the trees or the dry places have a particular tendency that at a particular temperature or a certain amount of temperature they can handle. But when the temperature of the weather increases so high, they are not able to tolerate it. Okay, and then their ignition temperature is reached. At a point comes when the ignition temperature is reached, and they suddenly, due to the extreme heat, they catch fire. Okay, so I hope you're clear with the ignition temperature or the kindling temperature. This is what known as ignition temperature or kindling temperature. Clear? In the next class we will also do an activity for this particular kindling temperature or ignition temperature. Then you will be more clear with the topic. Okay, so for today that's enough. These 3 topics you will study well. If you have any kind of doubt, you can clear it. Okay. Okay students, so now let's go for some applications based on the today's topic. Okay. The first question. In the limited supply of air, fire gets dash. What happens to the fire in the limited supply of air, students? Answer me. It gets extinguished. Very good. In the limited supply of air, fire gets extinguished. Okay. Then, second question. Dash is the supporter of combustion. In the today's class, we have learnt it. Yes, dash is the supporter of combustion. Oxygen is the supporter of combustion. Yes, oxygen is the supporter of combustion. Then, the third question. Ignition temperature is also called dash. Ignition temperature is also called kindling temperature. It is also called kindling temperature. Okay. Now the time for your homework. Students, today we learnt about the activity. Okay, that oxygen is necessary for combustion. So you have to write that activity in your own words with labeled diagram. Okay, you'll make a diagram and you'll write the activity, your observation, your conclusion, everything. Okay, like you show the activity. First you will write that what are the materials required. Then you will write how you have done it, means the process. Then you will write what you observed. Okay, what we will observe. At last you will write the conclusion that oxygen is necessary for combustion. Okay, so I hope all of you will do the homework properly. Okay, students, so thank you. Have a nice day. Study well. Stay safe. Stay at home.